my friends. Welcome to God Focus this morning. The title of today's episode, Hear My Heart. There's a beautiful song by Sherry Easter. It's about dealing with feelings like trials are going to go on forever or they're going to overtake you. One portion says, "So I'll be quiet so you can hear my heart." Sitting alone in quiet meditation to God, we sometimes feel like it doesn't accomplish anything. Revelation may not come before we end our quiet time. We lack direction and want answers, but God leads us to sit quietly in His presence. As someone who is a multitasker, sitting and doing nothing is difficult. God is teaching me that when we spend time listening for His still small voice, it is not time wasted. It is not sitting and doing nothing, but it is growing our connection to His Spirit. The enemy will try to throw guilt into the mix. He will make you think about all the tasks that are undone, the large pile of laundry, the unpaid bills. I'm learning to give myself permission to let the laundry go for a few hours or even until the next day. That will not change my future as much as listening to the voice of God. It is in the quiet times with God that He may pour into us strength to face the next trial. We are building a connection with God that will empower us to reach the lost. We can crawl up into His lap and take a break from the troubles of life. When we don't have the words to say, we can let Him listen to our hearts. He knows all about our concerns, our stresses, and our cares. He has the answers to all of our questions. A family member recently told me a story of her elderly aunt. She craved the company of family, and every time her nephew would stop by for a visit, she would hide his jacket so he would come back soon. That started me to thinking about God and how He wants nothing but our company. Instead of hiding our jackets, maybe He will allow certain things to come into our lives to draw us to Him. Psalm 16:11, "Thou wilt show me the path of life. In Thy presence is fullness of joy. At Thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore." How can He show us the path of life if we never spend time alone with Him? We cannot follow Him if we do not hear His voice. And He says His sheep hear His voice, and a stranger they will not follow. Well, He cannot lead us if we do not spend enough time with Him to get to know His voice. Spending time with God will give us joy, for the joy of the Lord is our strength. Getting to know God is a process. We have to be willing to sacrifice what we want to do in order to spend time with Him, getting to know His voice. Romans 12:1, "I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service." In order to put God in His proper place in our lives, we have to be willing to spend time with Him. I question myself when I have allowed life to crowd out my quiet time with God. Does that mean that He is in His proper place? In order to not commit idolatry, we have to make sure that God has the number one place in our lives. God knows us better than we know ourselves. He understands our concerns and questions better than we could ever imagine. Trying to put into words in a prayer sometimes how we feel may seem impossible to us. We end up frustrated, but God knows all about it. He will make the answers known at just the perfect time. When we think about tests, flashbacks of high school often comes to mind. When teachers tested us, it was to see what we had learned. God allows tests not so He can understand what we have learned, but to show us our strengths. We often do not know how strong our faith is in certain areas until we are tested. Then we understand and grow from the knowledge that the test reveals to us. Faith was there all along, but we didn't necessarily know it was there until we had to dig deep and hold on to God when things spun out of control. So do not be discouraged if you're going through a time of trial or testing. God is just revealing to you that He has placed something new within you, something that He can grow in the quiet time with Him. So take some time to sit quietly and allow Him to hear your heart. Thanks for watching. Until next time, be bold, be brave, and keep your God focus. Like, share, and subscribe for more encouragement. Have a wonderful day.